TVs going, so you had a lot of people that didn't even care about the Super Bowl. They wanted to see this playoff, but I think it's time for the organizers to reel this thing open. Change it from the People's Open, which basically enables people to do whatever they want. And they don't care. It's like Vegas on grass, where anything happens at the Waste Management Phoenix Open is okay, right? And maybe it needs to go back to the greatest show on grass, and that have some fun there. But both locally and nationally, a major black eye, I believe. It got so bad this weekend that alcohol sales were suspended. Fans with tickets were stranded at entrances, not able to get in. And things were horrible on Friday and Saturday. I mean, Thursday, the rain was brutal. It was tough to be out there. But things got even worse on Sunday when you had crowds being so excessive that Ryder Cup captain, Masters champion, Zach Johnson, had to go to the sidelines. He had an argument with a fan telling him to shut up so he could focus on the game. He goes, I'm just sick of it. Just shut up. And he went on and on. Another golfer said it's an utter S show, that drunken fans heckling players, and then there's brawls on the sideline. And then he had Billy Horschel, who went up to somebody and said, shut the hell up. I'm trying to hit a golf shot. It's our effing jobs. And the crowd, they laugh when the players are, basically going back at him. Even Jordan Spieth, who's one of the nicest, most laid-back guys, said, at one point he said, what the F, because a spectator shouted out during his backspin on the 18th hole. Backswing, yeah. And it was just, it's awful. And the tournament has become an EDM festival. EDM festival is basically music, kids jumping up and down, drunk, just doing whatever they want. I mean, you had a guy on Saturday that jumped the ropes, dove headfirst into a greenside bunker, and did a snow angel. All right, it's kind of funny. Let's do that in practice round. All right, not when there's competition going on. Then you had another guy ran across the 11th hole dressed as Braveheart. I mean, you saw that. Yeah. Granted, I love it. I don't want to sound like an old fart. I don't want to sound like a grandpa or whatever, but come on. One suggestion is just stop with the any day general admission tickets. Limit ticket sales. Maybe even beer sales, which I hate. Over 1 million 12-ounce beers were sold last year. And I'm sure with the rain, they sold more this year. Granted, a lot of that money goes to charity, so I don't want to sound like that. But what I think really kind of put this thing over was the second round, when someone, thank God, non-life-threatening, falls at the 16th hole, and you had paramedics and Scottsdale Fire and a helicopter, and I mean that's a little much. And then the tour sends out something on Saturday. We're cutting off alcohol sales. This is just before 2:00. We're cutting out off alcohol sales for the remainder of the day. And then they wrote, unfortunately, several fans don't have a clue on what please drink responsibly means, and somehow miscue that as let's get S-faced. That's what they put in there.
That's what they did.
And then they said something, we could say we're managing waste or wasted idiots, to conclude. But I think if they can cut the ticket sales down, I mean, I hate to say this, guys, but what is it going to take? It got pretty damn close this year.
Somebody dying?
Yeah, I think, Rock, what you did, the thing you said there that I picked up on is that these fans feel enabled to do whatever they want.
It's the People's Open.
Yeah, so they feel, well, it's our open, and you guys just here to play golf. Yeah,
we're my backyard. You can do anything.
Exactly, and I think that, I don't know how you get more security, get more control. To your point, you got a lot of great, I think, solutions for that, but this thing just got out of hand, and it just seems like the press, I know locally, internationally, I didn't watch Golf Channel during the event or whatever, or the national broadcast. That seemed to be front and center. That you don't want that for your golf team. You want to have a good time. It's great. It's a People's Open. It's fun.
There's a playoff.
There's a playoff.
They're talking about that. They're talking about the brawl yesterday.
Exactly. And then the people doing slide competitions down this hill and that hill and whatever, and people falling over, and guy having to carry one guy's buddy out of there. I mean, it just there were so many. There's so many things that I think this year than I've ever heard. And you and I have been around here a long time, Rock. We've been around this tournament.
I love the tournament.
I love it. It's great. The charity, the money they raise, but at some point, this has gotten to the point where you might see a lot of those top-notch golfers go, you know what? We're hearing, even when we just, we'd rather just skip and go on to Genesis and just sit tight. You know what I mean? You might see guys skipping because of what's going on.
I guarantee we're going to start seeing. That's why Tiger doesn't come here.
Yeah.
I think somebody had a gun one year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's first time here.
It's thoughtless behavior.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to sound like that guy. Like, I don't do that.
I don't think anybody's taking it.
I love the fun, and there's ways to still have the fun and go on 16 and bet.
Yep.
And cheer when they make the green and boom when they
boom.
miss.
Yep.
That's all right. But when it gets to the point where people are falling out of suites and, the fact was I had friends that were there on Saturday that were waiting in line and then they shut the doors. And there were people that were coming in that they weren't even wanting. You could have came in with who knows what. They weren't even checking tickets.
Wow.
No, I was going to say,
just bringing them in.
Working at the golf course and then being there on Saturday, I think it starts from the people at the front. The long days, they don't want to be there. Maybe get people that want to be there, that want to take care of their jobs. They let in 40,000 more people than expected, and then you've got the wet grass, so no one's going to sit on the wet grass. Everyone's standing on the side, and then the alcoholic drinks. I went up to the bar. I said, "Hey, can I get a drink?" They said, "No, we're not serving any more alcohol." And it just got bad. So, and you talk to all the pros,
people off, right?
Which piss people off. But the sad thing is, you talk to all the pros, they love playing at that course. They love those. drinks.
They like the course.
They love the whole 16. But to your point, Rock, like Jordan Spieth's got a critical shot on 18, and he's got someone yelling in his backswing.
All I can tell you is what I was able to ascertain, and I watched a lot of the tournament beginning on Thursday from the Golf Channel over to NBC. And I even got the feeling from the pregame shows that were on the Golf Channel that they were even uneasy at some of the things that they had heard. And I thought that they brought that to people's attention, and I don't like it either. And I'm with you, Rock and Manuch and Jax. I'm just curious, what can they do to secure it a little bit better, to have it go back to what it once was?
I hope that, whoever is the big chief or whoever the tournament director is, gets ahead of this now. Mm-hmm. And this week, the Thunderbirds need to get together. They're a hell of an organization, great guys there. Get together and have a statement, get out in front of it, and come on our show, come on the other stations, and just say, hey, this was one of the worst ever. And, okay, rain is one thing, and that altered some of their plans. But the amount of money they make, they should have contingency plans set up. That rideshare was awful. And the fact that they had to close off all these parking lots because of the water, that's a problem. But there's got to be better ways. I mean, I know they use Salt River Fields in their parking lot. That was, I think, B, if they called it B, so we get on the B bus. But the fact that, Thursday I had to walk in the rain, which sucked, anyway, it's cold. That's beside the point. How far you had to walk. You really had to walk from, I was at 18, which is, if I was a 16 million dollars, but once I got there outside, you're walking basically to the 101.
Pretty much. Yep.
It's not that far of a walk.
Yeah.
It would have been, I could have just, I saw people on Friday after I left our show from Wright Toyota on the Greenway Hayden Loop walking to Kierland from there because, they encourage rideshare. But I mean, I was seeing these kids on TikTok putting videos up. Don't do rideshare. It's the worst. You got to walk. It's too far. Man, they used to do a deal where they had taxis lined up and they were in lines and you walked up, and they had rideshare all near the bird's nest. Okay. It was all real close. The whole point of rideshare is supposed to help you.
Sure.
It's like, but I can tell you, I guarantee if somebody came on a Friday, they drove on Saturday. And that's what you don't want.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's gotten out of control. I know that the Thunderbirds want everybody to have a great time, but it's at some point, maybe let's just gear this thing back a little bit.
Why not?
Let's just gear it back. You're going to make tons of money anyway.
Now, I will tell you, the flip side of all this, if they do what I suggested, they cut off game day or general admission tickets, and they limit it per day, the cost of tickets going to go up. Okay, fine. Because it's such a great experience.
Now you vet your crowd even better. Okay, more people.
Exactly.
You vet
we
your
don't
crowd
need to
better.
be a frat party everywhere.
And if you got everybody if it's a more higher metric audience that won't be knuckleheads out there, and the players will go, okay, this thing's under control now. Because that on that PGA Tour, those guys talk. That
Oh,
rumor's
yeah.
out there.
Oh, God,
They
yeah.
love the course, but if anytime you have a but ... from a Zach Johnson or anybody else, other guys will go,
The thing is, you look at the guys that said something.
yes,
Yeah.
Spieth, any of them.
How do you think what happened this weekend's affects when Live and PGA merges? When they start to figure out what tournaments they want to keep and go away from both sides?
I don't think Phoenix is going anywhere. It's the
Okay.
highest
Oh, they're
populated
always- yeah.
tournament
Yeah.
in the country.
Gotcha.
I think the Hartford or the one in Dallas. Those are two that are really
I think
busy too.
the Thunderbirds got to. You got your record-setting numbers for years.
Yeah,
let's
reel
get
it in
back.
a little bit. I'm
Yes.
not saying take away anything.
Yeah, but
I mean, but you just stuff. I mean, somebody got hurt. I think on number 12 as well. It's one thing to fall. You're
Sure.
drunk, okay, but when people are falling out of suites, that's a little bit.
when
of a
the
stretch.
crowd activity outweighs the golf tournament, then it's time to take a timeout.
Again, these guys are smart. They're all big-time businessmen in this town. They're going to be able to figure it out. Coming up, as always, there's plenty of insanity surrounding the Super Bowl, and we're going to give you a quick roundup next. Plus, our Lunar Row one call about